Hey everybody out there, this is Seto Kaiba from your Yu-Gi-Oh! Chat channel, and today for you guys I'm going to be profiling my Skill Drain deck. My Skill Drain deck is a deck that I built together with a friend about 2-3 years ago now, and pretty much it's based around Skill Drain, so it's based around normal vanilla monsters and beating your opponent down, kind of like a beat down Skill Drain type deck. It's very interesting and it's a very fun deck to play. It's a very good deck to play against if you're playing a 2-on-2 match. So if you're having two players face another two duelists, it's very good in those type of duels. It's a very fun deck to play. It can shut some decks down really quick. I've won games against Fire Fist because of Skill Drain. So it's a very good deck, and it can be competitive at certain times. But without further ado, guys, let's get started on my Skill Drain deck profile. So first, guys, we run 3 Gene Warp Werewolf. Pretty much the reason why you run Gene Warp Werewolf is because it's just a big 2000 beater when Skill Drain's out on the field, and you can just run roughshod over things with the 2000 vanilla beater. Next up, I run 3 Alexander Dragons. The reason why you run Alexander Dragon is because the same reason why you run Gene Warp Werewolf. When Skill Drain is out in the field, it's just a big beater that can run over things. Next, we run 3 Archfiend Soldiers. You run Archfiend Soldier just as another big vanilla beat stick. There's a reason why we run vanilla beat sticks too. And lastly, you run 3 Luster Dragon. Those are pretty much all your vanilla monsters you run. You'd be surprised how many times you want 2 vanilla monsters out in the field so you can go for a Gemini Pearl Exceed. A lot of times, just you want vanilla monsters so you can exceed or run over things or things of that nature. For some of your other monsters that are not normal monsters, you run 2 Cat of Ill Omen. Cat of Ill Omen comes in handy for the fact that it helps you get to Skill Drain. If you have Necro Valley out in the field, you can add a trap card to your hand. So when this card is flipped face up, you can add a trap card from your deck to your hand if Necro Valley is out on the field. If it's flipped up, when it's flipped up, if Necro Valley is not on the field, because we don't run Necro Valley in this deck, you can add 1 trap card from your deck to the top of your deck. So pretty much what I can do, it's kind of like a Lavava chain here, where I can take Skill Drain anywhere in my deck and put it on top of my deck and then draw Skill Drain. So that's what Cat of Ill Omen is. It's able to get to Skill Drain faster. And if you already have Skill Drain out in the field, just keep this card in hand so you can get to another Skill Drain if your opponent blows up your Skill Drain currently out in the field or MSTs it. It's a very useful card. Next, we run 2 Beast King Barbaros. Beast King Barbaros is pretty much just a big beat stick in the deck. He's pretty much, I guess you could say, your quote-unquote boss monster of the deck. If Skill Drain is already out in the field, you can normal summon him and he stays as a 3000 beater. But if he's already out on the field and then you activate Skill Drain, he stays as an 18 beater. So just keep that in mind. You can look up the ruling if you're wondering, but that is the ruling on Beast King Barbaros the last time I checked out. If Skill Drain is activated and then he is normal summoned, he stays at 3000 beat stick. But if he is already on the field and then you activate Skill Drain, he's an 18 beat stick. But he's pretty much a big beat stick in the deck. A 3000 beater with Skill Drain now on the field. Very useful. Next, we run 1 Rescue Rabbit. Pretty much this is your instant exceed for your Gemini Pearl, which is your normal vanilla monster over here. Pretty much you can go Rescue Rabbit, get 2 normal vanilla monsters out of your deck, preferably Luster Dragon or Archfiend Dragon, or Archfiend Soldier, make a level 4 exceed, and things of that nature. You can continue on, then activate Skill Drain after you do this. But Rescue Rabbit is just very good in this deck, and you have lots of targets for it. And the last monster we run is 1 Frostosaurus. Sometimes you do tribute in this deck, and this is the 1 tribute monster you do have. You can just get a 26 vanilla beater out on the field and just run over things and do things of that nature. So it comes in handy a lot of times. For your spell cards, we run 2 Pile of Duality. You actually fairly often you do make a Gemini Pearl. either first turn or second turn. So that's one of the reasons why I only run 2 Pot of Dualities, because you exceed fairly often with your 3 Geminite Pearls over here. But you can run a third one if you want to. I run 2 Shard of Greeds. The reason being is after you get Activate Skill Drain, it's going to be a long duel until your opponent draws an MST or has a way to blow up that skill drain. It just becomes a long duel that you're just pretty much going back and forth. You know, I attack, pass turn. I attack, they pass their turn because they really can't do nothing. So you pretty much can activate Shard of Greed and just get 2 free draws right away. And I have to thank my friend SSJason19, one of my fellow Yu-Gi-Tuber friends, for giving me this idea from watching all his deck profiles throughout the year. So thank you, man. You made this deck faster because of that. Next, I run 2 Mystical Space Typhoons, just good generic back row removal. We run Dark Hole and Book of Moon as your one-ofs, just 2 good cards. We run 1 Swing of Memories. Pretty much if you have a normal monster on the field and you have a normal monster in the graveyard, you can go Swing of Memories, bring a normal monster back from the graveyard, and make a level 4 exceed like Geminite Pearl. And the last spell card, which is my favorite spell card to run in this deck, even though this card's not the best field spell out there, is the Seal of Orichalcos. Yes, I hope I said that right. Or the Seal of Orichalcomos. I think they do in the Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged, but whatever. So you have to remember, when you activate this card, someone is going to lose their soul. And if your opponent loses the duel, you take their soul. Yes. But this card's very useful in the deck for the fact that it's a fun card to play with in the deck. But it does have a purpose. You can be running around with 24 beaters or 25 beaters if this card's out in the field. So if you attack with a Luster Dragon, your Luster Dragon is no longer just a 19 beat stick, it's a 24 beat stick, and your Alexander and Geminite Werewolf become a they become 25 beaters, so you can just start running over things like crazy. So it has its useful purposes in this deck if you get to the card. Your main staple card in the deck, Skill Drain. Now, as you can see, we're on to the traps now. 3 Skill Drain, great card, shuts so many decks down. I'm surprised Konami has not limited this card yet. It is just such a good card. Next, we run 2 Birthrights. Because of the fact that we're pretty much running all vanilla monsters, you run Birthright. So you can also bring back a Geminite Pearl from the grave too if you wanted to. Next, we run 2 Mirror Force. Very good card. And this deck actually does run 4 Mirror Force, which I'll explain in here in a second. We run 2 Justicey Break. Now, you may ask yourself, what is Justicey Break? This card is actually used by Geminites. If you know what Geminites are, those normal vanilla fusion monsters. Pretty much this card is a Mirror Force, or a little bit better than Mirror Force in a way, I guess you could say. Pretty much what this card is if your opponent attacks a normal monster, so that could be a normal monster exceed like Geminite Pearl as well. So if they attack an Alexander Dragon, a Luster Dragon, you can activate a Justicey Break and destroy all monsters on their side of the field. So it's a very useful card. And the last couple of traps we run is 1 Bottomless Trap Hole, 1 Compulsory Evacuation Device, and 1 Torrential Tribune. And that rounds out the main deck. For the extra deck, we pretty much run 3 Geminite Pearls. This is the main exceed you go into. If you want to add other things like Utopia or things of that nature, go right ahead. But Geminite Pearl is the main one you will go into most of the time. And that is my normal beatdown skill drain deck, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed. So guys, I hope you all enjoyed my skill drain deck profile. Skill drain shuts so many decks down that they rely on their monsters' effects to go off, such as Fire Fists and decks like this. But it's a fun deck to play. It can do good against certain higher tier decks, but I just like the deck and it's a fun deck to play with a lot. But till next time, guys, take care, have fun dueling, good luck dueling, and I'll see you guys next time. Seto Kaiba, I'm out of here, guys.